Please remain standing or rise in body or spirit as we speak together our Sunday covenant. Love is the spirit of our people, and service is our call. To build the beloved community, to seek fuller truths in love, to dwell together in peace, to offer aid and affirmation, and to tend to our mutual well-being. This is our covenant.
Good morning, All Souls. Good morning. Good. My name is Keith Arnold, your Director of Music and Arts, pronouns he and him, and I'm going to invite us to learn a brand new song for this service. Is that okay on today to learn a new song? Nice. So in that, I might be seated. Go ahead and have a seat. This song comes from Singing the Journey. It's the Teal hymnal. And you have a copy of this song if you came into the room on a front and back. It's called Dayuna Naish. A little background of this song: it was the inspiration of a Muslim residing in the United States, Samir Badri. Samir recruited the composer, a Jewish man, to set his words to a tune after they were both featured in a peace rally in Arizona. So this is a true collaborative song. The words are in Arabic. They mean, let us live in peace, let us live in inner peace, let us weave our dreams together, let us die in peace. Here's how we can pronounce this. I'll say it and invite you to repeat after me. Dayuna Naish. Dayuna Naish. Be Salam. Dayuna Naish. Be Aman. Dayuna Nansij. Alam. Dayuna Naimut. Be Salam. One reason the song was created was to have it available for people who had never spoken or sung in Arabic. And so it's very invitational in that way. I'll teach it in call and response. The song is created so that I'll sing Dayuna Naish, and then we'll all repeat that. Be Salam, we repeat that. It's a very call and response. It goes like this. Dayuna Naish, Dayuna Naish, Be Salam, Be Salam. Dayuna Naish, Dayuna Naish, Be Amen, Be Amen. Dayuna, Dayuna, Nansij, Nansij. Amam, alam. Dayuna namut, Dayuna namut. Be Salam, Be Salam. Dayuna Naish, Dayuna Naish. Be Salam, Be Salam. Dayuna Naish, Dayuna Naish. Be Amen, Be Amen. Dayuna, Dayuna, Nansij, Nansij. Alam, alam. Dayuna namut, Dayuna namut. Be Salam, Be Salam. In such a time as this, may this song be an inspiration of collaboration across differences. You have now learned it, yay? We'll sing it at the close of this service as well. Welcome.
Good morning, All Souls, and happy almost Halloween. I think today, the 26th, is All Hallows Eve. My name is John Matthews. My pronouns are he and him, and I will serve as your worship associate today. Welcome to all of the living souls that have joined us in the sanctuary and online. If you're visiting us for the first time, we are glad that you're here. I invite you to visit our welcome table in Pierce Hall to my left, your right, after the service to meet some very fabulous people and receive a gift. By the way, if you need a printed order of service and haven't gotten one yet, you can find them in the 16th Street narthex or in the Reeb lobby. Now to Dayuna Naish. That moving song, as Keith said, was written by a Muslim residing in the United States with music composed by a Jewish composer. What a wonderful way to generate reflection and thought. It is meant as a song of peace in a time of war. Not simply the wars where arms are taken up, but also the wars that rage all around us. The wars of poverty, climate change, racism, xenophobia, homophobia, sexism, and ableism, to name just a few. Yesterday would be my mother's 91st birthday had she not passed away almost 20 years ago. I know that if my mom were sitting right there in the sanctuary today, she would be thinking two thoughts. First, one of great anger. Great anger. And believe me, my mother could manifest some anger for the direction in which our country is handling these wars. But I also believe that secondly, she would have great motivation for folks like us to work hard to change the direction in order to, as the song says, try to weave our dreams together, our dreams of peace, in order that ultimately we may die in peace. Let's honor my mom's theoretical thought with action, okay? In your order of service or in the chat in Zoom, you'll find a connection card. This is more than just a form, it's an invitation. If you're looking for ways to get involved, seeking support, or just want to stay in touch, fill it out, please, and drop it in the connection plate during the offering. Please include your contact information, as each week we seek to respond to what is shared here, and your name and contact information helps us do that. First and second time visitors who include their mailing address will also receive a gift in the mail. As we take an active moment to reflect on conscience, let us please think about the conflict in the Middle East and hope for a full end to bloodshed, and to a resolution that guarantees both lasting peace and also lasting enfranchisement and belonging for all. As Dr. King said in 1967, we must concentrate not only on the negative expulsion of war, but the positive affirmation of peace. And now is our time to greet one another. If you're on Zoom, we invite you to go to gallery view, turn your video on, and give everyone a wave. If you're here in the sanctuary, as the music plays, let's get to know one another, shall we? Thank you so much. This is an extremely well-behaved congregation today. I hope that if your conversation got cut off, you will happily resurrect it at the end of service, either in Pierce Hall or wherever you might find yourselves. At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce Virginia View to share with us a bit about our All Souls quilting project. Virginia.
Well, hello. I was not expecting a round of applause, but I'll take it. I want to tell you a little bit about the quilting activities that went beyond just that one quilt there. But I'm going to focus on this quilt here. When Shirley Blakely, who I call the quilting queen, approached me about our doing a quilt together, I was flattered and pleased to be able to do that. And we decided that we wanted to do something that would bring the congregation together. We had gone through a troubling time, not unlike what we're going through now. And we thought if we could get people together for an activity, and in her case it would have been the quilt, that might strengthen our bonds with each other. So we put out a call, and we got a wonderful cross-section of members of the church. Some who had been longtime members who were in their 70s or older, and young children, elementary age children. As a matter of fact, in terms of the cross-section of people who worked on the quilt, there were 3 generations of my family who worked on this particular quilt. And the idea was each person would make a block that represented what was important to him or her. And then again, when I say him or her, I mean it was a great cross-section of people. There were male and female, young and old, whatever, to make the block, and then we would connect the block. So this, of course, is the quilt here. And each one of the blocks represents something that is important or significant to that particular individual who was a member of the church. And then the idea was to bring the blocks together, bring them together and connect them, because that's what this activity was all about. It was about expressing ourselves, our faith, our belief, or whatever, and then connect with each other. And the quilt represents that. It represents the individuals who worked on the quilt, and mine's in there some way, my granddaughters, my daughters, whatever. But other members, all of the members of the church worked on this quilt. And it seems to represent what we were hoping for, which was a coming together after a stressful time for the church. So the idea, I did a booklet about it, which features all of the people who worked on the quilt and the activities and what we did. And the book is entitled Community Building Quilting, because that's what we were doing. So basically, that's it.
Good morning, All Souls. I'm Reverend Anastasia. I serve as one of your ministers, and I use she and her pronouns. This is one of my favorite types of Sundays because we have a child dedication today. So I am going to invite Sam and Jonathan and Marina. Can you please come forward with your child and loved ones for this dedication? Right up here, my dear ones. Yep. if you're loved by these people, it's good to come up. And parents, if you can move to be adjacent to me with Nalo, that would be convenient. Thank you. And my young friends, you know you have a special role in this dedication, so would our children and youth come forward so you get front row seats to this child dedication? I have to say, this is an extra special child dedication because we have not only children, but all sorts of creatures of the day and night.
You say wow? Yeah. That's a cool costume, huh? Yeah. Oh, wow. Super cool.
Parents, would one of you share with us the name of your wonderful child and briefly about the meaning of his name if you so wish?
His name is Nalo Joseph Trumbull Kincaid. Nalo is a name that means lovable. It's from West African tradition. And we named him Joseph after Sam's grandfather, who recently passed, to honor his memory.
Nalo Joseph Trumbull Kincaid. It's you. Yeah. Nalo, look deeply into the faces of your family. Look, there's your family. Your parents, but also Grandpa and Jima, Grammy and Papa, Grandma Jay and Aunt Dalton, Uncle Jackson and Auntie Kate, and Mema and Titi Mari, they're online, so we could give them a wave. Hi. And do you know why they're able to be here through the camera? Because love is so strong, it can reach a great distance. Yeah, what's this? This is all about you, honey pie. And this family of yours, they form your first world. And theirs is the face of love. See? I see that. All right, now look at this congregation. Your mother loves these people. We all know this. From us, you will learn what it means to love widely and to be loved freely by those who you have not lived with in a household. And these children here, they are your special community. Friends, will you welcome Nalo with a wave? Will you treat Nalo with kindness? Smile when you see him? If so, say we do. Thank you, dear ones. All right. We are gathered here not only to welcome you, Nalo, but to dedicate ourselves to you. Sam, Jonathan, and Marina, you know the beautiful work ahead of you, which is both harder and more rewarding than you imagined. You have birthed and raised this bright, sunny, shiny kid who finds a lot of joy everywhere, who plays jokes on people, who is sweet and loving and a good cuddler, which is the best, and who is excited to explore in the world. He finds joy through observations in the world and reminds us not to consider anything mundane. May your life together help Nalo understand that families care for each other. May you support him in finding a sense of purpose and to have the horizon of his imagination exceed any of the adults who have had a hand in his growth. So Sam, Jonathan, and Marina, do you promise to raise Nalo to the best of your abilities, to listen as well as to teach, to balance his safety with his freedom to explore, to nurture in him a sense of awe and wonder for the world? If so, say, I do.
I do.
Bavard and Alexa, you have been chosen as Nalo's godparents. Godparents are chosen as people in whom parents place a special trust and responsibility. Godparents take a lifelong interest in the moral and ethical development of their godchild. This means not only filling those young lives with warmth and encouragement, but also being willing to remind him, if he ever forgets his way in life, of the good person you know him to be. Tell him there is much to take seriously in this world, but that some risks are worth taking, and a spirit of playfulness makes everything easier. When he's a teenager, it is all right to tell him humanizing stories about his parents. And always pay particular attention for the lessons that are uniquely yours to teach. Will you accept this role as godparents with the spirit of joy and commitment? If so, say, we will. Everyone gathered here today is the village that surrounds this family with love and strength. Today, we commit ourselves to the wondrous task of nurturing this child. Please turn your attention to the screen or the responsive reading in the order of service if you picked one up. I will read the italicized and y'all will read the bold. It is our faith that each child born is one more redeemer. Are you ready to dedicate yourselves to Nalo? We dedicate our minds and hearts to this child and to his parents. Will you strive to love and cherish him in times of struggle as well as gladness? We will love and cherish him always. We acknowledge the divine spark within each child. May we be worthy guardians of the sunlight. May we know the community in which we grow roles surrounded by beauty, embraced by love, and cradled in arms of peace. Nalo, we have dedicated ourselves to you, which is the most important blessing we have to offer. But I'm going to seal it with a ritual. Nalo. Hi. Hi. Nalo, we're going to rub your feet with this earth so you may feel a deep connectedness to this wondrous world and this place. May you feel grounded in the knowledge that you always belong. Water. May your lips be kind and true, and in all that they speak. As you experience the breath of life, may you remember that you're fundamentally not an individual, but part of an interdependent whole. Others will count on you, just as you will depend on others. May the light of truth call you as a reflective, meaning-making person. And may your life unfold with beauty as a rose does. You may this meeting. Let us celebrate Nalo and his family. May the wonder of being part of a blessing stay with us in spirit, in mind, and in our body as we go forward in community. You are welcome to join your families in the pews or to go to your religious education classes, either out these doors or upstairs if you are a youth. As our children find their way to their next space, let us sing together Sia Hamba.
Hello again, All Souls. Certainly Nalo, in just a few years, is going to be up here speaking to us. He's got that kind of personality, that's clear. All right, do you have your calendars marked for the event of the year? Are you aware of what the event of the year is? Well, it's Lights Camera Auction, the All Souls fundraising, multi-generational auction. And it's taking place on Saturday, November 8th. We want you all to be there. All proceeds will benefit our church programs. Now, here's what we want you to know right now. Number one, it's time to pre-register and get tickets for the auction and optional dinner, but the dinner has food from Purple Patch, voted last year as Tom Sietzima's favorite restaurant in DC. Get your tickets now. Pre-registration saves you money. The price will be higher at the door, although we will have a pay-what-you-can option so all can participate. Also, know that this is an all-ages event, free for kids with childcare and activities. The link for tickets is available on the auction page, accessible on the All Souls website, or you can stop at the table in Pierce Hall after service. Now, it's a big day, because number two is that online bidding starts today. In just about 1 hour, you will be able to bid on our silent auction items. At the night on Saturday the 8th, there will be both a silent and a live auction, and yours truly will get the chance to be the auctioneer. Thank you. That's worth the price of admission, I hope. Number three, we will need volunteers to help on November 8th with setup, cleanup, as well as helping to run check-in, check-out, the silent and the live auctions behind the scenes. Volunteers get free admission and dinner. Remember I said Purple Patch? Again, the link to sign up to volunteer is available on the auction page. Or again, stop at the table in Pierce Hall. Finally, if you want to donate an item, especially an experience folks won't forget, head to the auction webpage to learn how to donate. Thank you for helping us to indeed make Lights Camera Auction the event of the year. Let's do it. Thank you. I am pinch hitting for Stacy Lucas, who couldn't be here. I will continue with other announcements. First, the Made by UU Craft and Bake Sale is coming soon. Get ready to shop, share, and celebrate creativity. The Made by UU Craft and Bake Sale returns Sunday, December 7th and 14th. We are calling all artists, bakers, and makers. Show off your talents in sewing, knitting, pottery, paper arts, jewelry, cooking, and more by donating your handmade creations. Sign up through the link in e-news or stop by the sale table in Pierce Hall after service. Let's make this a joyful holiday tradition together. Join us on Saturday, November 15th from noon to 2:30 for the Reeb and Social Justice Ministry Strategy Retreat. That'll take place at All Souls. It will be a powerful afternoon of strategy and action. It'll start with some collective work on how All Souls and related social justice ministries should respond to the current challenges. We'll then move to breakout sessions to get more specific. The Reeb Project at All Souls Church stands in solidarity for a just and inclusive democracy. The initiative was formed in 1965 when Unitarians mobilized around civil rights after Reverend James Reeb was killed in Selma, Alabama. We have a long history of action in support of voting rights and our democracy. Today, our city and our nation are once again in serious peril. How we meet this moment is in our hands. We invite you to join the leadership of the Reeb Project as we plan our actions for the coming year. Find out how you can help shape our work to protect home rule. How we collaborate with DC organizations such as Free DC has become an important part of this work. Contribute to building important voting rights efforts for the DC spring election, the spring primaries, and the fall midterms. Together we can make a difference. And by the way, potluck lunch with chili will be provided. Are you curious about Unitarian Universalism? Do you wonder why do we light a chalice in our beloved community? What makes our Unitarian Universalism living tradition so unique? Bring that curiosity and any questions you have into our online conversation with Reverend Rob on Thursday, November 20th from 7 to 9 p.m. Sign up via the connection card. Finally, the Silver Souls will be meeting in the library after today's service and will answer questions or simply continue the conversation about our amazing quilts. That'll be in the library after service. Thank you.
I wanted to lift up to this community in prayer Judith Bauer, who this week was hospitalized for gastrointestinal infections, which compromised her health. Though she stabilized, she was also released from the hospital earlier than we would have hoped. Thankfully, she has a strong support network, including from those here at All Souls, amongst whom is Barbara Corprew, her pastoral associate. During this time of silence that will follow, I invite you to lift her up in your hearts, to send her strength from your bodies, and to sign a card for her if you wish to send expressions of support to her, which will be available after the service. I invite us now to lift up the people, places, and causes that we carried with us here today. Spirit of life, eternal beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that inform our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and devastation of our city and country that foment our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard times, for real, full, and overwhelming life. We give thanks for the blessings that we have been given and which we have accepted, for the ability to come together to restore hope, for the ability to return and repair where there has been brokenness, for the reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days, for the beauty of our earth, which restores our spirit. For all these and more, we give thanks. Spirit of love, come along with us. Give us the holy nudges that we need so that we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have been given, so we may be the blessings in this world. I invite you to join me in our sung response, Fuente de Amor and Spirit of Life. Amen. John O'Donohue writes in the book, "To bless the space between us." To be in the world is to be distant from the homeland of wholeness. We are confined by limitation and difficulty. When we bless, we are enabled somehow to go beyond our present frontiers and reach into the source. A blessing awakens a future wholeness. We use the word foreshadow for the imperfect representation of something that is yet to come. We could say that a blessing forebrightens the way. A blessing is different from a greeting, a hug, a salute, or an affirmation. It opens a different door to human encounter. One enters into the forecourt of the soul, the source of intimacy, and the compass of destiny. Our longing for the eternal kindles our imagination to bless. Regardless of how we configure the eternal, the human heart continues to dream of a state of wholeness, a place where everything comes together, where loss is made good, where damage will be made whole, where the clenched question will open in the house of surprise, where the travails of life's journey will enjoy a homecoming. To invoke a blessing is to call some of that wholeness upon a person now. Today, I want to talk about the blessings that we each can give one another, and that members of All Souls in particular can give to one another to invite the space between us to be one of beloved community. You say beloved community often, but when queried, don't really know what it is exactly. Is it a destination at the end of a journey? A vision compelling but ultimately unattainable? A world where injustice, cruelty, oppression, exploitation, and exclusion have been eliminated in ourselves, in our society and community, in our relationships, globally, locally, just here? Does it mean changing laws and changing hearts and minds? Really, part of our work over the next few years is to have a shared understanding of what it is when we say we are working to experience beloved community. But today, I want to offer at least an initial understanding, one not quite complete, but still important. And it's found in the narrative poem Gate A4, published in 2008 by Palestinian-American poet Naomi Shihab Nye. It is a true poem, meaning that it both actually happened and that it reveals truths about beloved community. And as you listen, and perhaps again later when you look it up on your phone, I invite you to identify the blessings that are offered in it. Gate A4. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal, after learning that my flight had been delayed 4 hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate A4 was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor, wailing. "Help," said the flight attendant. "Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be late and she did this." I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke hesitantly. "Shu dawa, shu bid ok habiti?" Stani Shaway Min Fadlik Shubit Siwi. The minute that she heard any word she knew, however poorly pronounced or used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for a major medical treatment the next day. I said, no, we're fine. We'll get there, just later. Who is picking you up? Let's call him. We called her son. I spoke to him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and ride next to her. She talked to him. Then we called her other sons just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, they shared 10 friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She pulled a sack of homemade mamul cookies, little powdery sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts, from her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the mom from California, the lovely woman from Laredo, we were all covered in the same powdery sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. And then the airline broke out free apple juice from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and they were covered in powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with green furry leaves. Such an old world tradition. Always carry a plant. Always stay rooted somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in. The shared world. Not a single person in that gate, once the confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. They wanted to hug all those women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. The point I want you to leave here knowing with is that the beloved community can happen anywhere because it exists as a state of our soul. To return to Donahue, quote, "The human heart continues to dream of a state of wholeness, a place where everything comes together, where loss will be made good, where damage will be made whole, where the clenched question will open in the house of surprise, where the travails of a life's journey will enjoy a homecoming." When we experience that wholeness, that integrity, that release, that homecoming, we are in beloved community. Donahue says that to live in this world is to be distant from that homeland of wholeness. And yet, a blessing can forebrighten or illuminate the way to beloved community. In other words, if Unitarian Universalists want to experience the beloved community, then blessing should be the practice we utilize. What are the blessings that invite in the beloved community? There are many, but today I want to highlight 4 based on the poem Gate A4. They are the blessing of contribution, the blessing of reciprocal generosity, the blessing of gratitude and appreciation, and the blessing of knowing and being known. The blessing of contribution. Everyone needs help sometimes, whether that is needing directions, someone to hold open the door, to pass you a microphone so you can be heard. It might be teamwork, financial help, a friend to listen, or someone who tethers you to this world by firmly holding your hand and passing you tissues for your spouse at the memorial for your spouse, parent, or child. I know sometimes we speak about being enough. I understand we all need to trust in who we are and not judge ourselves by some false, perfect standard. I like to say, though, that what I have come to trust is that I do not need to be enough. I do not need to be enough because I trust that we will be enough. And I also trust that there is and will be a we. So the next time you provide some form of help, know that you are completing part of this sacred harmony. You are affirming that no one needs to be enough on their own. The sacredness of this truth activates a type of love within you. Love, not mercy. That love is your spirit knowing that you're not aiding someone who is in some way less complete than you. No, it isn't aid, it is contribution. Contribution. This love is a type of homecoming, inviting you into deep relationship. Just as the narrator experienced in that Albuquerque airport, when we contribute to the life of someone else or to something greater than us, we are for brightening our way to beloved community. The blessing of reciprocal generosity. Reciprocal generosity is one of the most ancient ways of creating beloved community. In traditional cultures, it looks like this. You give, the person you give to passes it on, the next person passes along the gift again, until going round and round, everyone has both given and received, like the cookies and the apple juice in all the airplane passengers' hands. Reciprocal generosity is also a framework change, a fundamental shift from this is my congregation to this is our congregation. Being generous is seeing the value in one's communities, meeting diverse needs, even if they aren't our personal needs, and supporting and investing in that. It means worship that is relevant and speaks to the 5-year-old, the kinetic learner, the person with religious trauma, the new Afghan refugee, the climate justice activist, the widower, the immigrant whose visa has expired, and the person who is asking about their life, why continue? Oh, how amazing the single Sunday service that feeds all of us. And yet, no reverend has yet been able to create those services weekly. And this particular practice means being generously grateful that some in our community were nourished or perhaps challenged that morning. Generosity of spirit, generosity of time, generosity of presence, generosity of appreciation, generosity of wealth and money, generosity with wisdom, generosity with patience, generosity that practices the platinum rule, not just giving what one wishes, but listening for what act of generosity would be most appreciated by the one receiving it. Beloved community is when this level of generosity is reciprocal and multi-stream. The blessing of gratitude and appreciation. Writer, doula, activist, and Black feminist Adrienne Maree Brown writes in her book, Emergent Strategy, that what you pay attention to grows. When you give attention to what you are grateful for, gratitude actually grows in its impact on your life. You notice the good things more. Their sense of proportion grows. Gratitude keeps at bay fragility, exhaustion, self-importance, spitefulness, and even fear. You could amplify gratitude by expressing thanks. Strive for something more than a simple nod and a thank you as you leave. Express through words what you've observed and how it's impacted you. Let me give you some examples. I love that reading you shared. I pictured being with my mom again as a young child and how she would tell me stories as she folded laundry. That is a memory I haven't thought about in years, and it touched me to feel so connected to her again. Or thank you for how much you invested in developing today's workshop or presentation. Because of your clarity, I understood for the first time how we white people have been relying on people of color to do most of the anti-racism work. And when presented with an action plan, we pause to consider if we even want to go ahead with the recommendations. Now I see that this is a continuation of colonialism. I'm going to reflect more on how I could change this pattern. When we hear appreciation that reflects a depth of gratitude, our clenched fear of unworthiness is released, and beloved community opens. Knowing and being known is better than words. It is the best blessing I know. This true knowing happens when you come to know the stories of each other's lives, when someone is ready to talk and another ready to listen, when you shift from looking at a panicked stranger, talk to her, call her son, and several hours later, call her your new best friend. Knowing and being known is to risk honesty, an honesty about who we are, when we reveal our strengths and also our flaws and failures. Instead of hiding our struggles and our shortcomings, we should be reflective about them, and openly so. Knowing each other with clarity reinvigorates our understanding and tolerance for those little quirks of personality and those growing edges that in other circumstances would drive us apart. Know and be known by one another. We share who we are, for it is through our broken places that love has the best chance of getting through. Love gets through the chinks in our armor. I must be honest, and it was referenced today in times of difficulty and the work that we have done to restore it, restore trust and community, that there will be times where we will fail one another. You will, and we will, and I will. Here is what to do. When the other has hurt or disappointed you, gather him, her, or them to your side. Recite everything he has done right. Tell them about every good deed, thoughtful act they have ever done. Recall for the other how wonderful she is, how deeply you trust in who she is. May this reminding call the person back to the better part of who they are and allow for right relationship again. Let another's humanity call you into who you are at your center. Knowing and being known is the blessing that shows that we do not need to think alike to love alike, and surely we do not need to think alike to love one another. On this sacred and ordinary day, and especially on days when you fear and worry that all has been lost, look for the blessings. Offer blessings. Create blessings together. Pass them around until there is sweetness and joy abundant for all to experience. Bless so that the space between us can be one of beloved community. Remember, it can happen anywhere when we forbrighten the way. May it be so, and amen.
Now I'd like to turn your attention back to our connection cards and this week's question. What practice of yours helps welcome the experience of beloved community? As the music that follows plays, you're invited to contemplate and reflect on how you would answer the question. Please fill out both sides of the card. Thank you in advance. In summertime, the living is easy. Relatively. All Souls donates 50% of our offering to a different organization each month. Our recipient for October is Food Justice DMV, a volunteer collective that practices solidarity through delivering groceries. The recent increase in immigrant enforcement and deportations has been catastrophic for many. In one apartment building alone, there are 25 families who have had one or both parents taken by ICE. All donations to Food Justice DMV go directly to supporting our neighbors in need. Today, when a food delivery can keep someone from being kidnapped, please give as generously as you can and consider volunteering as well at www.foodjusticedmv.org. If you're in the sanctuary, the ushers will be passing the plate for your offering and connection card. You can also text to All Souls by sending ASCU to 73256. If you're on Zoom, click the link in the chat, which will direct you to All Souls' online giving. This morning's offering will now be taken and gratefully received.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one. This is the sound of voices too, the sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it'll turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. One people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Each and every one of us has the incredible transformative power to bless. May you bless with your heart. May you bless with your spirit. May you bless with your creativity and your beauty. May you bless with your anger and your outrage and your desire for justice. May you bless in your ability to repair and forgive and to come together. May you bless in us in helping us create beloved community. May it be so, and may it be with us. Amen.
Let us live in peace. You are invited to rise for our closing song. Dauna naish, besalam, besalam. Dauna naish, besalam, besaman. Dauna, non-siege, alam, dauna namut, besalam, dauna naish, besalam, dauna naish, be'amen, dauna, non-siege, alam, dauna namut, besalam, Go in peace.